So it dropped. My soda dropped. I've been through a lot of psychological issues. Like I had an eating disorder. My family, we'd spit and shine, but there was definitely elephants in the room, more than one. It's like a stampede through that house. But that's a Banksy thing. So I think when you're isolated with a mental illness and you're by yourself and maybe you're not able to relate to others so well, you have to depend upon them understanding where you're coming from because you're sick. Your brain chemicals are off. Could be from too much stress, abuse, PTSD, that kind of thing. Also just breaks with reality, and whether or not metaphysically they're real or not, I can't say. I did one time try to kill myself, and I floated above my body, and I looked down and I go, I got to get back in my body. And I had a dream about heaven, and it was like glassine flowers just lighted up in my dream. And I dreamed about going down to the center of the earth, the burning, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and I was in a nightmare, and I reached out and grabbed him so I didn't fall into the abyss. I remember that, and symbolically, those things I kind of think do exist, your life, whether or not metaphysically we go on. That's a tough one to prove. But I will say one time, and I actually went over and picked up a painting that had jumped off my wall. It was after my guy had died, Kent, and it was on a brass hook, and it actually lifted itself up and jumped over onto the floor. So I don't think he was too happy that he passed so soon. It might have been a sign. But isolation is not good, and I think the mentally ill people, that happens to them, and that may be how some of the murders, we have to surround them with a community that understands their illness and then not judge them harshly for it, because if they feel they're being judged or put in a place they don't want to go, like the psych hospital, which is, it's not so bad, it's kind of bad, but there's worse places. Nairobi desert, maybe with no water. But yeah, no, I think we can fix the system, and it basically is a mental health system that we need to figure out. And I think artists, we tend to deal with people that struggle with some issues a lot of time, and that may be why so many artists are by themselves a lot. I made a performance art thing when I dyed my dogs purple, and it was a challenge. Just, people would come up and talk to me, and sometimes I got my feelings hurt. They'd say I was abusive or something, or they didn't like the show. But when you're an artist, you put yourself out there, and I've had friends tell me that, and I think it embarrasses my oldest daughter some, because I do put the truth that I see out. I love Liam Gallagher. I even cut my hair like his. And I was a latecomer to Oasis, but I'll tell you that touched my soul, the Don't Look Back in Anger song, because it helped me to visualize just getting over things that had made me angry with people. And I think stress causes a lot of that, but when it's abusive, it's tough. And I have bipolar, so when my medicines aren't right, I may scream or yell, something like that, and people need to understand that I'm suffering with an illness. Of course, you need to get the person out. You can't leave them there with no clothes on, peeing on your floor, saying they're some kind of Andy Warhol, Gestapo, Jackson Pollock idea. Come on, people. Anyway, I went to the school, and I was trying to talk to the principal about the speeders in front of my house, and they I had my clothes on and all, but I guess they sensed something was different about me, and I started to leave because I could feel that I wasn't welcome, and I should be welcome because I'm trying to protect the children. But people don't know how to read things correctly, because we're also attuned into industrialized schooling where everybody's a cookie cutter and we're all the same. Are we afraid metaphysically of letting go and letting the children be creative, because then we can't control them. You got to have ethics. You know, they got along with the creativity, they also have to be in tune with what ethics are and study different religions, like Joseph Campbell could be introduced. Because the more education, the more gnosis, the better choices they're going to make. But just guarding them all the time and not letting them be creative and telling them the world is a scary place, we're not going to build a better future. We got to change that.